In the pitch blackness were bouts of coughing mixed with gasps and tears. The question of why replayed as memories shattered like a broken record. Two burly thugs shoved a paper in front of the boy slumping in the rain. Do not think you can avoid the debt just because your parents died. A father's debt is passed to the son, and you absolutely must repay the rest. He slapped their hands away in hatred. My parents died working in the mines for you people. You are clearly the ones who should compensate me. So why is it like this? The memory shifted to him wearing an orange uniform. He was choked by a teammate who then ripped off his face shield. If you can awaken successfully, we still have a sliver of hope. Even if the awakening rate is only 1 in 1,000, someone has to be the one to try it. Why? With his shield removed, he started coughing up blood from the thick black air. Tears streamed down his face, while his teammates just indifferently watched him suffer. The awakening probability is only 1 in 1,000. So why don't you guys try it yourselves? He dragged his body across the ground, leaving a trail of glaring bright red blood wherever he went. You are all afraid to die. So does that mean I deserve death? His hands clawed at the ground until they were dripping with fresh blood. His entire face was a mask of struggle for survival. Why me? He looked up. A tall monster with its fresh blood-soaked upper limbs spread right above his head. Why do I have to bear all of this? It pierced its hand through his body. Then it lifted his endlessly screaming body up high. The monster's other hand grabbed his head, while he still tried to reach for it. Is it just because I am weak? Liat's eyes blazed with layered hatred. Blood vessels spread toward his pupils on his blood-covered face. So what if I'm weak? Who made the rule that the weak must obediently wait to die? A system window suddenly appeared in a terrifying black and red. The system is linking with an unidentified organism and is analyzing data. The monster looked at the corpse emitting black smoke at its feet and was about to stomp on it when the shadow system activated. Cutting to an earlier time, Liat and his fully equipped teammates entered a stream of light. I am Liat, a veteran miner. My daily job is to wear a chemical protective suit and risk my life entering an alternate dimension to mine for energy stones. A teammate in front began to approach the gate. The man holding a tablet turned to look at him. Are you making good money this month? At this rate, it will probably take you about 1.5 years to pay off the debt your parents left you. He patted Liat's shoulder to encourage him to try for another 3 to 5 years. You might even be able to buy a small apartment. Liat also smiled shyly and replied perfunctorily, Yes, 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 I will definitely keep trying. But deep down in his heart, he was relentlessly cursing. You wolf-hearted capitalists. As soon as I pay off the debt, I am out of here. Another 3 to 5 years, you say. If you want someone to work that long, go do it yourself. They drove 2 vehicles inside. The radiation in the alternate dimension has a 1 in 1,000 probability of making a normal person awaken into an evolver. But it is also extremely life-threatening. Liat and the others sat in the back of the truck wearing protective gear, if not forced into a corner by life. Who would choose to wear protective gear to work in an alternate dimension? On the opposite side, 2 people were looking at him and talking. Is that the guy you were talking about? The one whose parents died in an accident 3 years ago. Not only did he not receive compensation, but he was also forced to bear the debt, right? The other guy turned his sharp chin to answer, but his eyes were still glancing forward. Yeah. That year, the corporation insisted his parents caused $1 million in losses. Truly, a pitiful child. The pot-bellied man heard that and looked annoyed. What is there to pity? I say it's because he's too weak. If it were me, even if I had to risk my life, I'd make the corporation pay compensation. The other guy looked at his colleague. I thought you were going to make the corporation pay with their lives. The fat guy crossed his arms and replied, Are you stupid? What's the point of demanding a life for a life after someone is dead? Exchanging it for some money is more practical. Liat gritted his teeth so hard they ached. His eyes stared at those two. Weak. After the truck stopped, everyone went into the tunnel together. Sometimes a person becomes weak not because it is their fault, but because this society, this world has gone mad. The man with the tablet turned around and told the people behind him, Everything is ready. Let's start work immediately. Suddenly, the whole area where they stood shook violently. The shaking caused the equipment they were carrying to fall to the ground. A landslide. That guy turned and yelled, Landslide my ass. It's just a small earthquake. What are you shouting for? The fat man who was scolded was a bit embarrassed. An earthquake. I have never heard of an earthquake happening in an alternate dimension. The guy who had spoken with him earlier looked at his friend in agreement. That's right. I've worked in so many alternate dimension areas. and I've never heard of an earthquake happening. The fat man immediately panicked. Could it be that the monsters have appeared? Everyone on the team heard this and decided to urge each other. Then let's not work here anymore. I heard that this place used to have the demi-human race, and they are even harder to deal with than the insect race and the beast race. That's right, let's not work anymore. It's too dangerous. The leader pointed at them and shouted loudly. He didn't know that rocks and soil at the cave entrance right behind him were falling down. All of you shut up. This area was cleared by advanced rankers 3 years ago. How could there possibly be any demi-humans appearing? Anyone who dares to speak nonsense again, He hadn't even finished speaking when his eyes widened in surprise. Then he spat out a mouthful of blood as a sharp claw pierced through his abdomen. The fat man exclaimed in shock. The manager is. The man with the band-aid on his nose was stunned speechless, and Liat also fell into a state of extreme panic. This is... The manager glanced back and said with difficulty, Demi. The remaining people panicked and began to run in all directions. In front of them now were up to 3 demi-humans. Demi-humans. The 3 demi-humans began their chase. They caught up to someone, and a single skewer sent them to their death. Run. Liat was scared, but still thought rationally. We are more than 10 kilometers from the exit gate of the alternate dimension. His pupils glanced at the demi-humans behind him and wondered, will running really work? He was fast and had already put some distance behind him. But the others were not so lucky and were being brutally beaten and thrown away by the 3 monsters. This is absolutely not something our human strength can solve. One person was thrown by them and slammed right into Liat's back. He was also sent flying like that, and only stopped after slamming into a large rock. Liat slid down from the rock. The strong impact had indented a large circle there. He kept coughing dryly as he looked over to the truck. 2 people were already climbing into the back, and a teammate was frantically waving for help. Hurry, drive away and wait for me. He clutched his chest and called out to the starting truck. Take me too, but before the truck could even drive off, a demi-human grabbed the cabin roof with both hands, making the 2 people inside turn pale. Its arm pierced through the car's ceiling and reached inside. It gently pulled the 2 people in the cabin out. Then it overturned the getaway vehicle amid shrill screams for help. The other 2 also rushed towards the overturned truck. Liat propped himself up on the ground and thought, they are rushing towards the people in the truck bed. The entire truck exploded, sending 2 demi-humans flying back. He panicked and shielded himself from the sudden light of the explosion. He looked at the 2 demi-humans engulfed in flames, starting to burn fiercely like 2 living torches. He watched them fall to the flames and made a mental note. Their weakness is fire. Liat glanced at the several torches still burning on the ground. It's worth a try. Right at this moment, another one rushed over wanting to claw him. Not good. There's another one on the right. But its claw missed and dug into the ground. Liat had already nimbly reached for the torch on the ground to use as a weapon. He swung his hand and grabbed the torch handle. Then he jumped back with the momentum to look at the demi-human. All right. He kept swinging the torch back and forth. Get lost. His fiercely burning torch was pointed straight at the 2 monsters in front of him. This made them stand still, not daring to advance. As expected, he relayed this important information to his teammates. Everyone listen to me, these guys are afraid of fire. 15 years ago, gates suddenly appeared all over the world. Entire cities turned into rubble due to the invasion of strange races. The beast race and the demi-human race came to Earth one after another from the alternate dimension through the gates. Humans used weapons to try and fight them to save their own lives. Only evolvers awakened by radiation had the ability to resist these monsters. They had special abilities to fight against the giant monsters. The appearance of evolvers not only helped humanity close the gates, the plot is really thrilling. Don't forget to press like and subscribe to the Manhwa channel so you don't miss the next developments. It also opened a new era for humanity, in exploring and exploiting new energy sources from the alternate dimension. But unfortunately, we are not evolvers. The survivors started rushing to the burning vehicle at Liat's urging. Hurry, we are just ordinary people. Just surviving in this world is already an all-out battle. 2 people held torches pointed at the monsters to let the others find more tools. Try to find the most flammable materials possible, facing the monsters inside the gate. We don't even have the strength to run away. A man trembled as he looked at the torch with despair in his eyes. But this torch can't burn for long. Liat tilted his head to remind them. The storage room. There's gasoline in the warehouse. Use it to seal the entrance. We can hold out until rescue arrives. He stood in the middle and started to direct. Everyone act together back to back, form a circle, then slowly retreat backward. The team was able to gradually retreat towards the storage room, with barrels of gasoline right outside. Very good. He gave an order to a person beside him. Quick, pour gasoline at the cave entrance. Following the order, the other person kicked over the gasoline barrel, causing the gasoline inside to splash out. The stream of gasoline flowed on the ground past where the demi-human was standing, and they just stood there right on the most flammable thing in this place. 3 people did not hesitate to follow Li Yat's command and threw the torches in their hands. Throw the fire. The fire caught the gasoline right under the demi-human's long claws. A large fire immediately engulfed it. Its screams echoed throughout the entire area to the amazement of the other 2. The man who was trembling in fear earlier now clapped Li Yat on the shoulder and praised him cheerfully. Li Yat, we were lucky to have you. But he had not yet relaxed his worries. The group had temporarily and safely retreated into the storage room. If not for you, we would have died out there. That's right. In the future, just say the word if anything happens. I will definitely help you. At this time, he suddenly saw something. In the storage room, there was a tall, imposing stone statue. Li Yat looked up at it and asked, "This stone statue?" The other person followed his gaze and explained, "This is something that was found in the mine a long time ago. Manager Wong probably planned to secretly transport it out to sell to the black market, so he left it here." He observed it intently. It looks quite old. Behind him, an urgent call came from the fat man's walkie-talkie. Mine Area 7, Mine Area 7, please respond if you receive this. There's a signal. Quick, ask them when they will come to rescue us. The man with the band-aid on his nose quickly replied, Mine Area 7 received. We are being attacked by demi-humans and need urgent rescue. The voice in the walkie-talkie was loud and clear. We have received everyone's situation. The rescue team will arrive in about 2 hours. Before that, please ensure your own safety. All 3 men were stunned. 2 hours. The fat man urged, "Can you be a little faster? Hello. The connection was lost. All that remained in the space was the endless beeping of the walkie-talkie. Beep, beep, beep. Everyone started to get restless again. What should we do now? The energy of the protective suit is only enough for another hour and a half. Mine is also almost gone. I don't want to die. My wife and children are waiting for me to come home. Damn it, maybe we should drive the car and rush out. Whoever can escape escapes. It is better than sitting and waiting to die." Li Yat looked at his wrist. The suit's watch displayed 61%. The protective suit's energy is about to run out. I hope the rescue will arrive soon. 3 people holding shovels and wooden clubs called out. Everyone stop for a moment so I can say a few words. The man with the band-aid on his nose held a wooden club with a deceitful face. He and the 2 behind him laughed. Everyone's protective suit energy is definitely not enough to wait for rescue. In the current situation, someone will definitely have to be sacrificed. They targeted the cowardly man and Li Yat, for example the old man or the orphan. He pointed the club straight at his face. You don't have any ties anyway, and you're heavily in debt. Living is just more suffering. Why not give me your protective suit's battery? He gritted his teeth in anger. You. But the man immediately hit him with a blow that broke the club in 2. Still want to resist. Do you have the strength to do that? Li Yat clutched his arm and fell to his knees on the ground. Resist, huh? Go ahead and try to resist. He squeezed his neck and forced his face up, then tore off his protective shield. Let me help you. Maybe you will awaken under the effects of the radiation. That's right, if you awaken a superpower. You might become the hero who saves us. He threw the shield far away. Li Yat was painfully crawling on the ground, reaching for it. Bastard. If I awaken, the first person I'll kill is you. But that bastard didn't give him a chance to reach the shield. He grabbed his hair to hold him back, then removed the battery from his protective suit. A 1 in 1,000 chance to awaken. You think you have that kind of luck? He added another battery to his hand. After dealing with Li Yat, they turned to threaten the remaining 3 people. Who will be the next to try and awaken? A cowardly man afraid of death pushed the 2 people in front of him. Take theirs, don't take mine. Then he rushed towards the pickup truck, with 2 men chasing after him. Grab him. He climbed into the cabin amid the shouts of the 2 bastards. You stop right there for me. Pushed to a dead end. That person grabbed the steering wheel and started the engine. Damn it, if we are going to die, we will die together. The truck carrying the statue swerved and rushed off. It caused the stone statue on the truck bed to tilt and fall down. A stone statue crashed to the ground right in front of where Li Yat was crawling. The other 3 shouted as they chased the truck speeding out of the storage room. Quick, stop him if he breaks the fire at the entrance. We're all screwed. The voices of the others echoed into the cave. He already pushed through the fire out there. The demi-humans are running in fast. The demi-humans have broken in. Here, Li Yat was still lying prone looking at the statue in front of him. He struggled to ask it a casual question. Are you smiling? The stone statue gave a demonic smile. Even a broken stone statue dares to mock me. A demi-human stomped the stone statue's head to pieces, then rushed inside. It spread its bloody hand right over Liat's head. Why? The demi-human grabbed his head and lifted him up high. Why do I have to endure all of this? Its other hand decisively pierced straight through his stomach. It turned him into a donut. Is it just because I'm weak? At this moment, he suddenly remembered how he was rejected by others. Go away, your parents are both dead. Don't expect poor relatives like us to raise you. What does it have to do with me if your parents died? If you don't have money for rent, then get out. Don't think you can avoid the debt just because your parents are dead. Get out, get out. I don't accept people in debt. Get out. He sat down in the rain, looking up at the people who caused his parents' deaths. Their clothes were neat and straight. Are you crazy? You want to investigate the end of your parents, and you still want to sue the corporation. He threw a whole stack of papers in his face. These are the complaint letters you sent everywhere. They all ended up in my hands. You want the truth without compensation. I will give you the truth. The boss left, leaving behind 2 arrogant underlings. They lifted their feet and kicked him. The truth is that your parents themselves caused the accident with their violations. Not only will we not compensate, but we also demand that you compensate for the losses your parents caused the corporation. His hand clenched tightly on the rain-soaked ground to suppress the humiliation. The other guy kicked Liat's face, sending his head to the side. I'm telling you, it would have been better to sign the compensation agreement back then and receive tens of thousands in compensation. Why did you have to demand this truth? He was kicked away in an ugly posture. I will now be responsible for collecting your debt. I will take $30,000 a month. The principal will be paid off in 3 years. On the 15th of every month, I will send someone to find you. If you don't have the money, then don't blame them for being ruthless. He spoke with false magnanimity. Seeing how pitiful you are, I'll show you a way out. Go work as an alternate dimension miner. That's the only job where you can pay off your debt. Returning to the harsh reality, as he was impaled by the demi-human. I'm going to die anyway. But even if I die, I won't let you have it easy. His eyes were streaked with many blood vessels. He poured all his long-suppressed resentment into a bite, sinking his teeth so deep into the monster's arm that it bled. So what if I'm weak? Who made the rule that the weak must obediently wait for death? The monster reeled from the pain and threw him back onto the ground. Liat's mouth was all red with blood. He closed his eyes and lay there waiting for death. The taste of this beast is truly disgusting. The statue then shed its outer layer of rock and soil. It crossed its arms arrogantly and taunted the dying man. I thought you could unleash some potential. Turns out it's just a meaningless struggle before death. Liat's entire body was enveloped in a purple light. At least I got a bite in. What about you? A broken stone statue that was casually stomped into pieces by that beast. The statue's smile vanished. Right now only I can save you. You just have to obediently hand over your body to me. Liat opened his eyes and looked at it resolutely. I don't need it. Even if I die, I won't let anyone control me. Especially not an ugly thing like you. The statue laughed very cheerfully, defiant even in death. The scene returned to reality. No longer in Liat's subconscious. The demi-human was now lifting its foot to crush him, and Liat lay on the ground in a strange state. Fool, you think you have the right to refuse. Shadow system. Activate. A stream of black light suddenly appeared from nowhere and wrapped around the demi-human. The monster was immediately dragged to its knees by the light, its head slamming into the ground. A pitch-black foot lifted up. Liat was entirely covered in a jet-black armor. His eyes held a deadly coldness. The one who just stepped on my statue was you. You ant-like creature? Right. The giant foot stomped on the demi-human. It immediately turned into a pool of blood. I hold a very long grudge. Another one appeared from behind him. It let out a cry of surprise. It rushed towards him, but the current Liat extended his shadow and said nonchalantly, "So noisy." His shadow expanded into a grinning demonic face. Go down. The mouth of the demonic face opened wide, and it swallowed the unlucky demi-human inside. With a snap, the demi-human was bitten in half. Only its head and one arm were thrown out. Its head rolled on the ground. Liat spat and said disdainfully, "The taste is really disgusting." He advanced towards the 3 people captured by the shadow. Next up is this trash. The 3 teammates who had taken Liat's shield earlier trembled uncontrollably. Liat, what are you going to do? If you dare touch me, I will report you. The statue's consciousness stood behind Liat, watching the black shadows gradually disperse from the body. I'm very curious. If I return the body to you, what will you do? At this moment, Li Yat, with his power being controlled by the statue, was radiating a murderous aura that engulfed everyone there, despite their desperate screams. "Let me go. You can't treat us like this. We only did it because we wanted to survive." They continued in a very miserable state. "Besides, if it weren't for us, you wouldn't have known if you could awaken into an evolver or not. That's right, even though we were a bit harsh on you. You did awaken." Faced with those earnest pleas, Li Yat only showed a very calm expression and replied, "Oh, so I have to thank you for that." The other men were still kneeling on the ground. "No need for thanks. Just act as if nothing happened. And let us go, please." A person nearby also quickly spoke up. That's right. The young man now snapped his fingers and used his power. "I will not only let you go, but I will also give you a hand." A somewhat demonic energy quickly removed the mask of the man on the other side. Those men quickly suffered a terrible pain. They spat out several large mouthfuls of blood and could only cry out in agony. Li Yat Yu. At this time, the boy who possessed the dark power slowly approached the remaining scared people. Don't kill me, I didn't do anything." But his next action was truly surprising. The things from earlier were thrown down before their bewildered eyes. "Their batteries now belong to you." Suddenly the power behind him spoke. "Put away your useless pity. It will only lead you into trouble." That power also gradually disappeared from his body. Li Yat spoke up. "Shut up. I don't need your pointers." The entity quickly replied. "I just want to see if you can still be so resilient when facing life and death." Outside, countless monsters with strange shapes had appeared at some point and were approaching this place. Demi-humans. He still looked straight ahead with a determined gaze. "I didn't expect there to be so many outside the cave." The power behind him gave a somewhat strange smile. "Either you give me control of your body, or you solve this trash problem yourself." Li Yat's feet trembled involuntarily. The other entity spoke again. "You're getting weak-kneed just facing this trash. Think carefully. Without my power, you are nothing." The young man's legs then decisively jumped straight into the air. "I already said, don't point fingers and lecture me." With a beautiful spin, he easily dodged the attack of the rushing monster. With nimble movements, he dodged countless relentless attacks from the monsters. He exclaimed to himself, "So light." At this time, those hands rose up, and with just his current body, he could block an attack from their sharp claws. Suddenly, from behind, the silhouette of a monster appeared. It menacingly bared its sharp teeth in this direction. His eyes immediately widened as he realized the danger. His whole body nimbly dodged the attack in a flash. He thought to himself, "Even my reflexes and speed have been greatly improved," as a monster was rushing towards him. That voice rang out again. "Even though you have linked with the shadow system, is this all the power you have? Truly useless." Suddenly, a surge of power welled up in Li Yat's body. His eyes shone with a purple light. His hands accumulated energy ready to strike straight ahead. "Shut up." He threw a punch with immense power. The punch sent the monster flying far away. Witnessing what was before him, he was also surprised. "My power has grown so fast." Glancing at the monster trying to stand up, he thought, just using physical attacks can't cause serious damage to them. But his hand condensed another kind of energy. "If only I had a weapon in my hand, it would be great." In an instant, that dark power formed a sharp weapon. Is this from a shadow illusion? Then let's try it and see if it's handy. Very quickly, the blade was swung, ready to slash the opponent in front of him. The slash easily cut the huge monster's body. A confident smile appeared on the young man's face now. "Turns out I can also kill a demi-human. Have I become an evolver?" At this moment, two other monsters quickly rushed towards the prey in front of them. A powerful blow hit the young man's bare body directly. With the reflexes just buffed from the system, he easily spun around and sliced off the head of the previous one. Finally, countless other monsters immediately advanced forward. He also had the strength to resist. Those legs carrying the newly acquired power rushed forward, stepping into a battle of his own. Time passed quickly. The ground was mottled with bloodstains. Countless monster corpses lay sprawled on the ground. Li Yat appeared with his body covered in wounds. He lay in the middle of the pile of monster corpses. He was gasping for breath on the verge of death. The system's voice announced evolution successful. Li Yat human race rank E. The journey of the shadow hero has just begun. Please like and subscribe to the Manhwa channel right now to follow along with the most thrilling chapters.